Mark, explain what motivated you to run for election.
Well, it's the same thing I did about 7 years ago, because of the love of the people. I love the county, I love the people. It's home to me. I was born and raised here. I raised my family here, and now I have grandkids here, and I want to keep this town running, this county, I should say, running as best as it can. Basically, I want to just keep doing what I've been doing.
Mark, what areas of county government interest you the most and why?
You know, I enjoy the whole process, everything that there is about it. But the main reason that I got into this politics is I want to look out for the taxpayers. Our people that live in this county, we work hard for our money. We don't need to have it spent on wasteful things. And that's what got me involved into it, and I want to keep doing my best to hold costs down and make the dollars stretch as far as they can.
Okay, we'll move on to our next question. Mark, we'll start with you. Paid holidays for employees continue to be a subject of debate between the board and the personnel committee. How many paid holidays should staff receive per year and why?
Well, they're receiving 12 paid holidays right now. They're asking for another paid holiday, and everything within me is saying a no to that, because banks only recognize 8 holidays. And my constituents from my district don't want another holiday, paid holiday for employees. It's a matter of money. I mean, it takes $35,000 a day to pay the payroll for the county. So we already got 12. They want 13. You take that 35,000 times 13 over the year, you're talking close to $500,000. That's money that is spent for service not rendered. So, in my opinion, we've got enough paid holidays. Adding another one is not going to increase people coming in here applying for jobs.
Mark, when it comes to administration of the departments reporting to the board, what is the proper level of oversight that commissioners should exercise?
Well, it's not the commissioner's job to micromanage the departments. The people we have are very good. We are lucky to have the people that we have running our departments. Like I say, it's not the commissioner's job to micromanage, but it is the commissioner's job to see that the public's being served in an effective, amicable way.
Mark, what ideas do you have to speed up the improvement process for roads?
Well, this is a thing that one of the big reasons I even became a commissioner is because of roads. But when I first got onto this board 7 years ago, the big thing that was bleeding us dry was the detention center. And all the money, excess money that we had was to keep that thing afloat. We had to work through that. We had to make some big changes. We added on to it a $4.4 million project and added 72 beds to it. And now that, and a lot of this thanks goes to Mr. Oberman, because he is running that thing really well. What was costing us $900,000 to $1 million a year is now on its own and making money. So finally, once we got that straightened out, we finally had some money that we could start building back on our roads. And that's how come we ended up doing 7 miles of Stegall Road last year. We had enough money budgeted. We were going to do 5 miles, but then we done some searching and we come up with some new innovative ways, and we got to be able to do an extra 2 miles for the same amount of money. So I was kind of proud of that we didn't have to push a bond or anything like that. We got 7 miles of Stegall Road done for the same amount of money that was going to cost us 5, what we was going to do for 5 miles. But like I said, we did a really good job there. But we can't stop. We got 165 miles of pavement in this county. We need to do 10 to 15 miles of overlay, chip sealing, whatever it takes to keep these roads up in shape. We got to do at least 10 to 15 miles. I mean, just do the math. That's what it's going to take. We got to do that every year.
Thanks, Mark. Mark, what role should the county play when it comes to the development of workforce and workforce housing?
Well, we all need a workforce. I mean, everybody is asking for employees, and that they're hard to get. And but as far as the government stepping in, providing housing, no, I don't believe in that. I believe that a smaller government is better. The smaller the government, the better I think we all are. But to try to keep people, you know, it's going to take industry to come into it. That's what draws people. Industry draws people, good paying jobs. If you have good paying jobs, then they can afford housing. So that's how the capitalist system works. And that's what I'm all about.
Mark, we'll go to you next. If a horse racing track and casino are built outside of Gering, the county stands to receive a considerable amount of funding from that industry. What would be the best use of such revenue?
We could stick it in a lot of places. Yeah, increase wages for the employees. We just got done talking about roads and bridges and pavement. We got 160. I mean, there is a number of ways we could use that money.
Mark, what do you believe is the proper balance to strike when considering valuation protests?
Okay, I've sat through a lot of protest hearings, and we really do try to help our citizens out the best we can. They come to us, depending on the circumstances and whatever circumstance they may have, they have to show us something. And if they can show us something that would say that the assessor's office has their property valued too high for whatever reason, we are glad to help them. And in fact, I think you're kind of related to that. Like I say, this is my 8th year in this now, and we really try to keep our citizens, you know, be fair with everybody. But back to the point Chris was making. I live in a small farm southeast of Minutair, and it's pretty close to the river. And my neighbor sold a piece of property for $1 million. That same piece of property sold a few years later for $3 million. My little farm has increased 240%. Okay, not that I'm complaining about that, but I'm still trying to pay my taxes with that same little piece of dirt that I got to scratch out of. So the whole concept of real estate taxes, in my opinion, is not right. I know Senator Erdman tried to bring about a consumption tax, he called it, and it didn't make it, but we need to try to figure new ways of taxing other than property taxes, because that is an unfair tax. I know people that make a lot of money and they don't have much property and they pay little tax. It's not fair.
Mark, what would you do to foster a spirit of cooperation with elected offices?
This is what we've been doing and what I've been doing for the last 7 years. I know all the department heads. I know them by their first names. I visit with them. I go in there and I can step into their office at any time and we can have a friendly conversation. And that's how you build relationships, and that's how you cooperate. You know this person, you know how they're going. It's the interaction. It's the interaction and that's how you build cooperation. That's how you get things done. So basically what Mike said, and that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years.
Mark, what are your stance on unfunded state and federal mandates?
Of course I don't like them. Whenever the state tells us that we have to do this, and hey, figure out how to pay for it, that's totally unfair. There's a bill trying to get onto the floor right now at legislature. I think it's called LB 233. Don't quote me on that, but there's a bill right now. So, I mean, if people want to get involved, call your senators and get that bill passed to end unfunded mandates. That would be a tremendous help for us.
Mark, last question before as his closing statements. At the end of the next 4-year term, if you're reelected, how would you define success?
Getting 10 to 15 miles of road paved every year. that'd be really great. Continue what I'm doing. Success. I feel that we've been pretty successful already. We got a great rapport. The other board members, we get along very well. We work together well. I work great with all the department heads. It's already been successful, but I still like to work on the roads. I'd like to get more done there. And like I say, we had to stop the bleeding at the detention center so we could have some money to work on these roads. And now that that's happened, and I got to give special thanks to Mark Overman for that, because he's running that like a top. And now because of that, we have the money to start fixing bridges and roads and do more for our gravel roads and everything like that. So that's what I do.
Mark, we'll end with you. You have 1 minute for a closing statement.
Well, I've been doing this job now 7 going on 8 years. Pretty much everybody knows how I stand. I'm a staunch conservative. I've been that way from the get-go. So, but I just want to say that managing a budget the size of Scottsbluff County and the 30+ departments, it's a tough task. It's a big task. Thankfully, we have good people that's running those departments. I mean, without them, it just wouldn't happen. But still, yet the commissioners need to coordinate the departments working together, and that's what we've been doing. That's what I've been doing, and that's what our current board has been doing. And but to do that too, you need to stay in touch with your constituents. You really got to keep your head in the game all the time. It's, you know, people that say that, oh, the commissioners, they meet twice a month for a couple hours, and that's, they're totally misled. They're misinformed or just uninvolved. But what I want to get across here, it's a tougher job than most people realize. But I'm glad to do it, and I'd like to keep doing it for you. If you'd like what I've done and want me to continue, I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. We'd like to thank all of our candidates running for Scottsbluff County Commissioner in District Number 1 for participating in tonight's forum. We hope that this helps you in deciding who you wish to vote for. As a reminder, in the May 10th primary election, you'll be allowed to vote for one candidate. The top vote getter in the primary election will advance to the November general election, most likely unopposed, as no other candidates have filed from other parties. This candidates forum is one of several being presented by the Government Affairs Committee of the Scottsbluff-Gearing United Chamber of Commerce. We again would like to thank the Rural Radio Scottsbluff staff for recording this forum so you can view it, our timers from WNCC for volunteering, the Chamber staff, and Scottsbluff County Clerk Kelly Sides for hosting us this evening in the Commissioner's Room. On behalf of the Scottsbluff-Gearing United Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee, and for my co-chair Don Wolf, I'm Bill Boyer. Thanks again for joining us, and remember to get out.